It is Wednesday, April 20. Hey, God, hey, you fucked it up. You started.
Fine. 3, 2, 1.
It is Wednesday, April the 23rd, and you're listening to 16 Inputs, a podcast where we talk about video games. My name is Alan, and I'll be hosting today. Today's guests, we have Brian. What? God, okay, fine. John.
Hello.
Eric.
Hello.
And Paul.
Hello.
Yay, we're all here. So, today's first topic, how can Microsoft win this console generation? Well,
by trying harder.
I mean, with the PS4 selling 7 million and they're 2 million behind at 5 million, do you think there's any chance that they could win?
Yeah.
They still sold 5 million.
Yeah, duh.
So what can they do?
Well, considering the fact that the consoles are extremely similar in terms of power and technology this time around, it's going to be pretty tough. It's going to be going back and forth.
The only difference is that one of them gets you Connect and it's $100 more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I also noticed that I think Xbox One has less games than the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 at the moment, which I thought was a little strange because it's Xbox or Microsoft, and they should have had a bunch of games in reserve. But it turns out they have just a little bit less video games than PlayStation 4.
The tables have turned.
But then again, there's a bunch of new games for the Xbox One coming out later this year, so... Well, but the same thing applies for the PlayStation 4, so... I don't know.
I think the reason why Sony was able to bounce back last generation is because they had more studios than Microsoft when it comes to game development.
Yeah.
That's why they were able to pump out more games and more high-quality games.
Yeah, but it's not very hard to, make a game for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, right?
So now it got them easier, so...
Yeah, so...
Now if you make one, you can make on the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad, and if you're a developer, you want to make more money, so you put it on more consoles.
Yeah, so... But then you won't get platform exclusives, though. And platform exclusives help ship units. Unless they're timed exclusive.
Like Mass Effect?
Yeah, we know how that worked.
Yeah, I don't think exclusives will work unless you're one of those really big companies.
What? Do you think if they announce an exclusive Final Fantasy in this day and age, would that still only hold any weight in the water?
No.
Unless it's 15.
What's up?
People have been waiting for that for ages, so... Yeah, but don't give them any ideas. Do you guys think DirectX 12 will help?
Eh?
Well, I hear stuff.
What's going on?
Is that from your end? Alright, do you guys... Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Are we all down?
Hello?
Hello?
I'm still here. I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Do you guys think DirectX 12 will help?
I don't think it really applies.
Wait, what?
I mean, graphics technology is nice and all, but that shouldn't really factor into how well games and consoles sell. Because they're both pretty powerful and similarly powerful.
Yeah.
So there's almost no need for technology. Yeah, when people start using technology as a factor for console sales, that's sort of like comparing dick measurements. It's like, ours is more powerful.
I don't know. What about the PlayStation 3?
They have to sell.
That one had a Blu-ray player.
But
Okay.
yeah, the Blu-ray player is super powerful.
No, the Blu-ray player was one of the reasons why I think it helped the PS3 is because there was more storage capacity and
More storage capacity, and you're getting a gaming system and a video
every
system.
console has a hard drive.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's another big one. But now we have
It's like,
we have all that.
that's like useful technology. Like lots of features that are actually functional and useful. Whereas when people start saying, "Oh, mine's more powerful," then you're just being an idiot.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, you got a powerful system. How big are the disks? Do you have a hard drive? Things like that.
Yeah, but I do think it affects the way the games are designed for it, though.
Yeah, you can get some pretty intense games. I mean,
No, like Final Fantasy 13 was the cutscenes were only 720p on the Xbox, and compared to 1080p on the PS3.
yeah, and it was like 3 DVDs.
Yeah, and then I think GTA 5 came on 2 discs or something like that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think Microsoft will be able to compete better if they drop the Kinect?
Well, Connect is not limiting them at the moment, is it?
Is it well? It's
really.
limiting them because of the price.
But you know, in terms of hardware and all that stuff, it's not.
Well, the hardware is the least of the worries because it's. I think the way they designed their operating system is one thing, is because they have the Xbox OS and also a Windows 8 version, a customized Windows 8 version on it too. So it's linked together by a third OS, so technically there's like 3 OSs on there. And then the fact that they use DDR3 RAM instead of GDDR5 RAM, which is a little bit slower, it's also another limiting reason. And also the fact that they use a slower processor.
Yeah.
Plus, you have to dedicate resource to connect. So all those factors add up together means an inferior console compared to the PS4, though.
Yeah, but it's not that inferior.
No, it's not. It's more like 10-20% inferior.
Well, the little things like what kind of technology it's actually using, like its processing power, things like that. Those things really only factor into your decision to buy multi-plat games.
Yeah.
So like I'll use say Enslaved for PS3 and 360. The PS3 version was vastly inferior in terms of technology. Slower frame rates, the effects weren't as intense. It was just jerky and jittery as hell. Whereas the 360 version was made to run the Unreal Engine basically, so it ran very smoothly and all the way through. So like if you had to decide which one you wanted to get, obviously you'd go with the one that's actually much more playable.
Yeah.
But in terms of like choosing which console to buy on its own, you're going to be like, well, what franchises do I like? It's like, do I like Uncharted or do I like Halo?
Yeah, I could see that actually.
If you have both consoles, then well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You'll just find, if it's a multi-plat game, you'll just find the one that runs smoother and get that one. And then it's like, oh, exclusives are out, get those. If you can afford that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Find some guy living in his basement with every console ever made.
Aren't those
I
called?
own everything.
Aren't they called game reviewers or something?
Yeah. But they get paid to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think like getting a new console is like part of their payment to do
And they
their
get
job.
dev units.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, do we agree that it's mostly about the games then?
Yeah, it was always about the games. Like, okay, if there wasn't like any of your favorite games on the consoles, then you wouldn't buy a console to begin with.
Yeah, that's true. Unless it was like the PS3 in the beginning, where you bought it for the Blu-ray player instead of the games.
Well, no, in the beginning, you can also play the PS2 games too, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, that was the reason I bought my PS3, mainly because I was looking forward to some new games that were going to be coming out, like God of War,
Yeah.
but also because I still had a pretty good library of PS2 games, so I kept playing those in the meantime.
Hmm.
And those bastards then would not allow it to be backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, whoever decided on that needs to be shot in the foot.
well, you know, then they decided to resell you through PSN.
They essentially make more money for us, and it's quite blatant too.
Yeah.
But
Kind of
now they
starting to
need
get a little
to
depressing.
but they're pretty slow in getting the PS2 games on there.
Yeah, some PS2 games will never come out anymore. Like I doubt
Oh.
they'll ever remake Hunting Ground.
Ah,
Yeah.
don't ever get rid of your PlayStation 2. Actually, are they still making PlayStation 2s for like
Yeah.
third world countries?
Yeah, just not in Japan anymore.
Yeah. So you can still technically get PlayStation 2, like a brand new one too. In fact, so you
Yeah.
should technically be
I
fine.
think they're made in Brazil now.
And Brazil was like they're just getting the PlayStation 2 when the
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 just came out.
Yeah.
That's 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 really sad.
I don't know. I love the PS2. The PS2 is an awesome system.
Yeah, at least I get to enjoy it.
No, I mean it was simple. Just put the disc in, play. You don't have to like install, do DLC, or like do update checks and all that shit.
Yeah, everything became sort of like a computer game.
No,
Yeah,
everything.
that's the only thing
Yeah.
I in the all ongoing like console versus PC war. That's the only thing that really bugs me about a PC game because I'm always every time I log into a game, I'm like, do I have to install another update? It's like I did this last
man.
week,
Yeah.
ranging from totally new content for like the holidays
Or game
to
installs.
a small little bug fix. It's like, why'd you have to do that now?
Yeah.
Speaking of PC gaming, do you guys find Steam to be much more buggier than usual lately?
Um, actually, yes. Just yesterday, I tried to play a video game and it wouldn't start.
Huh. Yeah, because Steam on my computer keeps freezing up like every once in a while.
Witcher 2
Yeah.
crashed on me, so I deleted it.
What?
I don't know.
Last time
I was 5 hours in, then suddenly like everything turned blue and it reversed.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, what? After so I quit and I replayed it again, and it still does the same thing. And I was like, god damn it.
No, it sounds like a graphic
Mm.
card issue though.
Maybe, yeah. But I don't know. It was like everything was all inverse after all the UIs were all jumbled up and everything. And after that, I couldn't tell which one was exit or options, all that shit. So I was like, fuck. So I was like fighting like these blue men when they were actually supposed to be like pirates fighting me, but they were like these blue men and like with weird polygonal things sticking out of them, and they were like fighting me, all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I don't like about PC gaming. It's like PC games are very susceptible to glitches like that.
No, I love PC gaming. I just think that when it works, it's awesome. When it doesn't work, it's one of the most
It's
frustrating
hellish.
things ever. Yeah.
Mm. What was
Like
it?
when it starts failing, you're like, how did this get approved? How did they ship this? It's like
I
I
don't know,
can't
I had
even run.
well, they have to.
that was like Skyrim, but Skyrim was kind of fun when it was buggy as hell because it was silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they have to
Flying
develop
dragons.
games for like a general system. They can't really develop for specific systems because there's so many different graphic cards and
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
combinations.
Exactly. Another one of the reasons why I prefer a console because it's like one system, like one set of hardware. That's all you need. It's like I don't want to, even though I plan on getting a gaming PC just for obviously gaming purposes, but I don't want to be thinking like, okay, there's a new game I want to get, but will it run on this particular card or whatever? Or do I have to install a
I think
series of updates and other drivers and things like that?
I think I ran into a problem just like that not too long ago. I installed Total War Empire after a really long time of not playing it, and I come to the realization that the text in the game was really, really fuzzy, and it was almost illegible. I couldn't read it all, and I looked it up, and it turned out it wasn't a graphic. It wasn't
Yeah, it sounds like a
bug
game
problem or
design
something. It was
issue.
just it was a game design issue, and it just wasn't compatible with newer graphic cards, which I thought was really weird.
Oh.
Okay, I will give you that, but although that PC gaming does have its bugs, there are still communities out there who really go into the games and try and fix
There
them.
is, yes. And
Yeah, the
that's-
modding communities are awesome.
Yeah.
Like, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is one of the best examples because the game itself, on initial release, was a garbage pile of bugs. Yet, and the developers were canned because of poor sales, so they really didn't get any developer support. But the fans pitched in, and now the game is one of the best RPGs in the world once you get all the fan mods for it.
Yeah.
Because they fix all the bugs, they keep everything running smoothly and perfectly, and it's the way the game was meant to be made. It was on sale yesterday.
It's still on sale.
Oh, good, cool.
How much is it?
It's like
$5.
$5. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey Paul, didn't you come across that one game with the weird boobs and the evil demon scarf? That was like a piece
Yeah,
of
yeah.
crap game that was never finished.
Yeah, Stretch Panic.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a
that
funny
weird
game.
thing.
That was a
How
great game.
How did that ever get shipped out? It was missing textures.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird, but it was kind of interesting just to see it as like a incomplete game.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
Japan.
It was like a Kanemaru Damashi weird, and that's why it was so good.
Exactly. There needs to be a store called What the Fuck Japan, and it's got all those games and everything.
Motorcycle.
You can always count on Japanese to make some crazy shit.
It's the
Crazy but,
radiation.
crazy but entertaining. It's like, this is bizarre and grotesque, and I can't look away. Like a train wreck.
Yeah.
So why don't we go back to Xbox?
Yeah, we kind of got off topic.
Well, speaking about Xbox, it's coming
Okay,
to
what do you like about the Xbox then?
What, me?
No, like, we've been bashing Xbox a lot. So why don't we say something good about the Xbox? What do we like about the Xbox brand?
Controller feels nice. Controller's nice.
I don't know. I didn't really like the controller. That's the thing.
It's
but-
okay. I like the thumbsticks are okay, I guess.
I thought the controller just felt nice in your hands.
The new Xbox One controller. I don't really like the bumpers on top, but
Yeah, that was weird.
I think the thumbsticks are okay though. But do I like the asymmetric placement though? It's like, what do I like about the Xbox? Well, okay. What I like about the Xbox is that it has a good architecture to it, meaning that the operating system is actually based off the Windows operating system, so we could expect apps for it in the future, so it's easy to develop for. But what I don't like, okay, okay, that's what I like about it. Yeah, basically the software architecture for it is good. I'll start with that.
Not to be mean, Alan, but it sounds like you're you're just like spewing crap out of your ass.
I'm not. Okay. Look, the development for the Xbox OS is basically the same as the Windows OS, so it makes it easy for developers to develop apps for it, and that's a good thing for it. I like the PlayStation OS, which is based off an open source thing.
Isn't it the same thing as the Microsoft Xbox One?
No. The PlayStation, the PS4 OS, and the Vita OS are based off a Linux distro called FreeBSD.
But it has the same coding as Microsoft, so essentially, if
No,
you're
no, no, it's not. Microsoft Xbox One OS is based off the Windows 8 OS, and yeah, so basically all the development pipeline and the way you develop apps for it is the same as how you develop a Windows Phone and Windows 8.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I like about it, because it's a common platform to develop. If you know how to develop for Windows, you know how to develop for Windows Phone and Xbox One.
That means you can make a video game,
Well, you know,
for the most part.
because the Xbox has two operating systems, you don't have to develop video games for it. You can also develop apps for it, because apps run on different operating systems in the game section.
Wait, so you can make an app for Xbox One?
Yeah, you can.
Tell me some more.
Xbox One has three operating systems inside. One is the Xbox OS, the other is the Windows OS, and then there's a third OS called Hyper-V that ties the two OSs together. So that's why you can run apps on one OS and the Xbox on another OS, and they look like as if they're running on the same OS, but it's actually 3 OSs running concurrently. Well, this is getting technical, but I gotta research
Okay, because
consoles to begin with. Yeah,
they're very, very well driven.
yeah, and then the PlayStation OS is based off a Linux distro called FreeBSD, and that's why it's not as resource intensive as the Xbox OS, but it's basically a bare bones OS in a way. It's like the most minimum amount of OS you can get. So it's the development environment is different. So well, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I like Fable.
That's what you like about Xbox One.
Huh?
What I like about the Xbox is that they made Fable. That's it.
Fable?
The Fable series.
Wait, do you mean Fable? The Fable 3? Fable 3 sucked though.
I didn't play Fable 3. I said the Fable series as a whole.
Ah,
Yeah,
don't play Fable 3.
I know. I heard it sucked.
It'll ruin your image of Fable and make you cry a little.
Well, they already have Fable Legends already. The Connect
But you
game.
become king.
So?
Being king is boring.
A ton of games you could become king, but it's not a great game if you don't become king.
I thought it was good to be king.
Oh, being king sucks. All the responsibilities.
Aw.
Yeah. Okay. What do you like about the Xbox One OS? Xbox One.
Or Xbox in general.
Well, Xbox in general.
Yeah, the brand and all.
Um, it has. Well, I'll let others say.
I never owned an
Well,
Xbox.
actually, who here has ever actually
Yeah.
like played an Xbox or an Xbox One?
I
Ah.
have.
Yeah,
You
I
did?
have.
What about
I
you?
played
Paul?
Lost Odyssey on it.
Okay. And John played a little bit as well?
Yeah, that was actually the first next-gen console I played, and the first time I played Oblivion.
Oh, sweet. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, I played Halo.
Okay, then all four of you can duke it out because I have nothing on Xbox One. Just,
Like, I was never
all
there.
my information I'm currently getting is from you four.
Well, I would love to get into the Halo series, but I used to play the Halo multiplayer back in my friend's house back in the day. Then after that, I got PS2 and never looked back. But I always wanted to play the campaign of Halo because this like what? How many games already? Like 5, 6 games already?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I wonder what the story's about. And people were like, oh, go buy some Xbox. I was like, I don't want to go buy Xbox. So I already have a PS2. I mean, do I worry about playing Halo versus Kingdom Hearts? Yeah, I play Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, no. The only reason why we never got an Xbox is because of all the good games on the PS2.
Yeah.
If there's more games aside from Halo 2 and Crimson Skies on the Xbox, we might.
Wait, you're talking about original Xbox, right?
Yeah, the original Xbox.
The only reason why I would get original Xbox today is to get Shenmue 2. Because for some strange reason, Microsoft struck a deal with Sega to release Shenmue 2 out for the Xbox, not for the Dreamcast. Which I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know, that was pretty fucked up. But other than that, it's like, yeah. But what else can I play on the Xbox? House of Dead 3.
Crimson Skies.
Okay, fine. Crimson Skies. Crimson Skies is fun. Yes, I'll give you that. But it's basically like Uncharted with airplanes, though.
It's basically it's just basically airplanes.
No, it's basically like Uncharted with airplanes. The whole vibe thing, where it's like, you're going on an adventure.
Yeah, sort of.
You and your lady friend bicker at each other while you fly planes and all that shit.
That sounds very familiar.
Yes.
Hmm. I thought Brian would have stuck with the PlayStation 2 because of freaking Final Fantasy.
Really? Well, during the PS2 era, like what's out? Like Final Fantasy 10, I thought it was meh, and Final Fantasy 12, which I thought it was okay.
Hey.
Yeah, and Final Fantasy 11, I never got into it because it looked weird.
It was an online game.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
tried getting into it. It wasn't it wasn't a very good game to get into. Because
Wasn't there one that was really bad and like they had to
no,
fire
it requires
everybody?
you to join up with friends, and if you don't have any, it's hard to solo in that game.
Wait. An online game where you're playing online with people whom you never know requires you to play it with friends.
No, in order to continue on with the main story and start questing and stuff, you have to pair up with people in order to continue. It's hard to solo in that game. But if you play, if you try to solo alone, it's really hard to level up and stuff. Is because most of the storyline bosses and stuff require you to pair up with people. Like there has to be a healer, there has to be a tank person, there has to be a magic person and stuff like that.
Hmm.
If you don't fit into any one of those roles, then it's hard to.
If you're not useful, you're screwed, basically.
Basically, like okay, if every place a warrior, it's impossible to beat a boss because you need someone to buff you up with stats, and you need other people to heal you, and you need basically you need like certain archetypes in order to play the game. So
Oh
if you're
God.
all healers, you're all like if there's not enough warriors or something, then it's hard to play the game. Plus the controls.
Okay.
Yeah, the controls are shit.
Alan, your
Also,
voice is turning into the voice of God.
What?
Alan, your voice is turning into the voice of God.
I am.
Echoing.
Hello. There's
Okay, there we go.
fixed.
Yeah, that's better.
well, also, if you want to play Final Fantasy 11 on the PS2, you need a hard drive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which only the fat PS2s can allow.
Well, they don't have the
Which
latest
that-
expansions anymore.
No, they don't.
Oh. I mean, for the PS2, that is. You can still play Final Fantasy 11 on PC, and there's still a thriving community for it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, but PlayStation, not PlayStation, the Final Fantasy 11, that was a really bad one where the CEO had to resign and everything.
No,
Oh.
that was 14, the original 14.
That was 14?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Final Fantasy 11 was the most profitable Final Fantasy. Yeah, there's an MMO, that's why. Okay. Let's move on to the second topic.
We didn't really, we just kind of bashed on Xbox One. I feel bad.
I know. Okay. The Xbox, it has good software but terrible hardware. If the Xbox had better hardware, then I might be more kind to it. But they didn't do. They didn't really try to push on the hardware front, so it wasn't really that good.
Ryan, are you doing something?
I'm getting popcorn.
Hey.
What?
Damn, that's loud popcorn.
Yeah, that was loud.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, continue.
So, second topic is something's happening at Naughty Dog. Nate Wells, the art director for The Last of Us, left, and they dropped the villain for Uncharted 4.
And you also dropped the creator of Uncharted.
Yeah, so and Amy Hennig, the creator of Uncharted, left to join Visceral Games to make Star Wars.
What
Damn it,
Star Wars?
The Visceral Games is making a Star Wars game, and Amy Hennig, the creator of Uncharted, left to join that team.
Oh God, a visceral. Now I just think of Dead
Well,
Space with lightsabers.
Well, if you got like the creator of Star Wars handling it, then maybe they'll do something to like maybe with better direction they'll do something that's superior than Dante's Inferno, which in terms of quality can only go up.
Yeah. But what I'm wondering is what the hell's going on in Naughty Dog with all the high-profile people leaving and stuff.
I don't know, what was the last game Naughty Dog made?
The Last of Us.
It was, Last of Us. And
Yeah.
it was really good.
It was really good,
So-
but then
And
But was made by the
Too,
Uncharted
right?
team. No, Naughty Dog has split into two teams. One is the Uncharted team, and one is the Last of Us team. The Last of Us team was done, but then the Uncharted
okay,
team
so
was.
the Last of Us team is just So the Last of Us team is doing fine.
They were working on Uncharted 4 until suddenly, the creator left. After that, I think they're going back to drawing board of everything.
The Last of Us team? I think the Last of Us team was the Uncharted 2 team, wasn't it?
What? No.
Best Uncharted.
Was it? I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, no. Uncharted 2 ended, then they split into two teams, and then one team worked on Uncharted 3, and the other team worked on The Last of Us. Yeah. But then,
the remnants of an Uncharted 2 team.
yeah. But then something happened during the production of Uncharted 4, and now people are just leaving.
Well, if the creator left, and suddenly the writer left, and then they dropped the main antagonist,
Yeah.
yeah, it just sounds like they're doing a massive reshuffle.
Yeah. Huh.
Probably when the creator left. There was a creator canned, or did she leave on her own?
I don't know. People say that she was forced out.
Huh. Do you think it's a sign that the higher ups, or like the people, the directors are being nitpicky?
Or just Sony started getting involved.
Yeah, basically.
That happens a
So,
lot.
yeah, when that tends to happen, people start leaving.
Like, fuck this. These people are assholes. Or, fuck this, they fired me.
Or maybe they didn't want to do Uncharted 4, and Sony wanted them to do it.
That could also be it.
That seems like the most likely one, because Uncharted 3 had some pretty good closure. Like, it was open-ended enough that you could probably continue the story with, like, a comic or something, but it didn't really need anything else. The adventure continues, but Nate and Fisher have some closure, so it's all good.
Yeah.
It doesn't need anything else.
You need a kart racer.
No, it didn't.
Uncharted. We're still waiting for that.
I would love it.
It would only work if they made it like crazy stylized, like what they did with characters for like Disney Infinity. It's like super stylized Nate Drake with like a big head and everything.
There is a big head Nate though. It's like one of the secrets.
There's also a fat Nate.
Donut Nate. Donut Drake. Oh god, that was really awful.
Yeah.
Who runs slower and has a deeper voice.
My favorite is when you play as a girl and then it goes to a cutscene and it's still like whatever girl you pick, like Chloe or something, but then it has an Nate's voice and you're like, what the hell?
What? No.
It didn't? I thought it did.
No. Inside all the cutscenes are pre-rendered, so you couldn't do it in real time.
Oh, so it just goes back to being Nate?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, all the cutscenes were rendered. All the cutscenes were pre-rendered with the in-game assets.
Yeah, it was
And
kind
was
of.
it like
looks
the
like it.
in-game?
So it's like they
Was
could
it
do it
in-game
in-game,
thing?
but I guess it's like to do that to keep it from glitching, because that would really suck if like you got this really serious cutscene and then all of a sudden Nate disappears into the polygons. It's like, oh crap, where'd he go?
That'd be really funny though.
They also did the same thing with like God of War and stuff.
So I guess Naughty Dog is either going to reshuffle or they're just, I don't know.
I hope it's not a sign of things to come, though.
What,
No, Naughty Dog is pretty good.
more studio closures?
I hope not. Not after The Last of Us and the freaking Uncharted series.
Yeah, I mean, they did quite well with those two games.
They did well during the PlayStation 2 days too, which is actually something you have to be like you can put on your resume.
I think they did better
PS1
during
days.
the PS3 days, though.
Yeah, during the PS3 day was their like golden years.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
to speak.
Uncharted did well. Last of Us is probably like the best game to come out in the last 5 years or something.
Yeah. And the PS2 days weren't something to scoff at either. They made the Jack series, which was really good.
Yeah, but wasn't as popular as Ratchet and Clank.
No, but then again, that wasn't as popular as Sly Cooper. Well, in America. But, you know, when you think of PlayStation 2, in America anyways, those are the three games that come up. Well, the three series, I'm sorry to say.
And SSX.
That's for sure.
Yes.
What?
As it
SSX was fun.
Yeah. I think that's the launch title. If I remember correctly.
I don't remember that.
SSX?
The
That's
snowboarding
weird.
game.
Yeah. It was
I know,
huge.
The
but
crazy snowboarding game.
In Tony Hawk.
yeah, but the only time I
Tony
remember
Hawk games
SSX was
sold
on the
very
GameCube.
well.
Oh dear.
Was it? Yeah,
And I
SSX
remember the
was
SSX on
multiplat.
the GameCube.
Yeah, it was multiplat. And it was like one
But
of
what
the
other
most
games
fun
is
games
Naughty
ever.
Dog's making?
Naughty Dog? They're just making Last of Us for the PS4 and Uncharted 4. Also for the PS4.
Is there anything else on their agenda?
Nope. Just those 2 games.
Just those 2 games?
Mm-hmm.
Quantic Dream is making something for the PS4.
I hope it's not that creepy wizard demo.
What?
Quantic Dream, the makers of Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls.
I know them, but what creepy wizard? I don't remember that.
To demo the PS4, they made a stupid wizard tech demo. It
Huh.
was not a very good thing. Yeah.
Speaking of tech demos, there's a certain sci-fi fantasy game with a spiky-haired hero with a very, very big butcher's knife as a sword that was shown off on the PS3 that has yet to come to fruition.
God damn it.
Yeah, that Final Fantasy 7 tech demo.
What? But it did come to fruition. It's called Having Children.
Yep.
I enjoyed it, but it doesn't count.
It came out on Blu-ray. It's playable on your PS3.
Yes, I enjoy it, but it doesn't count.
You want the game, damn it.
I mean, yeah, it's like, look at the movie. They clearly have assets that could be used, and yet they choose not to.
Because they're lazy.
I think it's politics.
Yeah, I think it's company politics.
Like, yeah,
And
we don't want to
what
appeal.
do they actually have to lose?
We don't want to appeal to the fans. That's our policy.
We don't want easy money. Bam, done.
Or I don't think they have the ability to create that kind of game anymore.
What makes you say that? No.
It would-
Okay. If they really want to remake
fire
Final,
heavy.
if they really want to remake Final Fantasy 7, just follow the original game. Still keep it top down, all that shit. But just use.
Exactly. They don't have to change anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
just use the
the
same.
most they would have to do is like just maybe give it and maybe not do the top down thing. Like just like rebuild all the environmental assets.
Bring the camera down.
Yeah, just
Orchestrate
give
the
you a
music.
third-person camera. I mean, they don't actually have to do. They don't have to redesign the game. They can use the same old mechanics, maybe add a few minor features like.
I can imagine Noble's music in orchestra. Hello.
Get the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra on it.
Yeah.
I mean, basically all they have to do is just update. They don't have to actually make anything.
You know, I think a lot of people actually want them to take Final Fantasy VII and like remake it into the way of Final Fantasy 13, but with the same story. Basically, prettify the shit out of that game. I think that's what they're afraid of. Because if that's what fans want, I don't think they can do that.
I want to see them remake the Golden Saucer and expand on it.
In HD.
Oh God, I will never leave that place ever again.
Chocobo racing
Like-
all day.
Like triple the amount of mini games you can play in that place. Oh God. It was addicting enough with only like 3 playable mini games.
Go on dates with Barrett.
I replayed Final Fantasy VII not too long ago, and I ended up on a date with Yuffie, which
Well,
is
okay,
hilarious. It's hilarious because she's all energetic and everything, and but also very shy that she's going on a date with Cloud, and Cloud obviously is not interested in her, so he's just like, whatever.
No, I'm wondering how would
And by
they
the end of it,
how would they HD rise the cross-dressing section?
Oh God.
actually, they could just reference fan art because there's been some pretty. Obviously, of course, people are going to play with the fan art like that.
Let's
So.
get the.
And there's some pretty convincing fan art where it's like Cloud still looks like Cloud, but obviously with a little makeup and dress manipulation. You can make him look like a woman.
No, that
It's
whole
the
entire
lightning from
scene was
Final Fantasy
comedy.
Oh yeah, just
Does it
yeah,
look
they
like
could just
that?
take lightning from Final Fantasy 13 and put Cloud's hair on her.
Oh God, you're right. Just take off the lipsticks and the mascara, and there you have it. It's Cloud.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How the hell did we
And-
get to Final Fantasy from Naughty Dog?
I don't know. Anyway, speaking of Final Fantasy, Square thinks that Final Fantasy 15 is their most expensive game to date.
Better be. How long has it been in development?
8 years.
If it's not the most expensive game after 8 years of development, then they did something wrong.
Or they did something right. Think about
Well,
it.
from a company standpoint, but if it was like if it was the cheapest game they've ever created in 8 years, that means they cut a shit ton of corners.
And they did something right.
Well,
Well,
okay. Here's what I'm wondering: if they say it's the most expensive game which they ever in the company history, I'm wondering how much of it is actually in the game and how much of it is actually cut from the game.
Oh no.
Oh God.
I mean, they could be like, "Oh yeah, it's the most expensive game we ever made." Yeah, all these environments which were supposed to be like game, we actually had to cut it out. It's because of changing issues or whatever.
They're not PS4 quality. They're PS3 quality, but not PS4 quality. Like that.
Sons of bitches.
Like, I remember when
Actually,
13 was supposed to came out, they like got rid of half of the content for it because, they haven't fit on 360 and all that shit. After that, you're supposed to visit Lightning's house, they got rid of that. You're supposed to go to the zoo, they got rid of that. Nautilus was supposed to have more, places to visit. They cut out that too.
So it was supposed to be like the Golden Saucer?
Yeah.
No wonder Final Fantasy 13 was linear as hell.
because all the linear part was essentially put in there to make it shorter.
No, because they had to cut out everything else to fit it on the 360.
Basically,
That sucks.
there was a world there. It just sort of fell into a black hole. That is called Square.
Or Microsoft.
Or Microsoft, yeah, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. I just hope that.
Yeah, but you don't
15
need to-
turns out be good though.
Actually, now that I think about it, Final Fantasy 15 was made for the PlayStation 3, right?
I think it started for the PS2, then they shifted development for the PS3, and now they shifted development for the PS4.
Okay, question. Is the PlayStation 3 still more powerful, or is the PlayStation 3 more powerful than the PlayStation 4?
What? No?
What?
No, because, yeah, so PlayStation 4 is more powerful than PlayStation 3.
Obviously.
And the Xbox is about the same strength as the PlayStation 4.
20%
As
less.
opposed to... But overall, pretty
You
damn
know,
close
around the same
compared to
ballpark,
Xbox.
yes.
Yeah, compared
Kind
to
of like
the
how the
previous...
PS3 was with the 360. Like the processing power
Yeah.
of the PS3 was.
No, the PS3 and
Pretty-
360 was a really weird beast because the PS3 had the better CPU, but had a worse graphic card, while the Xbox had a worse CPU, but had a better graphics card.
Yeah.
But was,
So it's like,
was the disparity...
depending on the developer, games could look good either way.
And then after that, the PS3 had split RAM, but the one RAM was like 3 gigahertz, and the other RAM was like 800 megahertz. And then the Xbox RAM was all 800 megahertz, but it was unified RAM, so it had a bigger capacity, but it wasn't split.
Yeah,
PS,
and PS3 had a different coding language.
yeah. You have to learn a whole new language to program for it.
Okay, but essentially, if you wait, the Final Fantasy 15 is for both Xbox One and PlayStation 4, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's the disparity between these two consoles is not as bad as the 360 and the PS3.
No, and the architecture is similar now. It's not like weird, like the PS3 was.
Yeah, so that means the things
why
that were
no
lost
Android
in
developed.
say.
Hmm?
So
That's
so
why
the
no
things that
Android
were lost
developed
in
on the.
Final.
Keep going, Eric.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I was just trying to think that the things that were lost on the Final Fantasy 13 series was because they're compensating for the Xbox 360.
Because of the DVDs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but do they still need to worry about compensating for the new Xbox One when the disparity
No, they
is
all
much
use
smaller?
Blu-rays now, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, so then there should be no reason for the Final Fantasy 15 to basically lose anything whatsoever if they can make it.
Yes, there is.
exclusive.
They could have retooled the whole thing because see, they renewed it as Final Fantasy 15, so they're probably retooling the whole gameplay and everything. So probably there used to be towns, and probably they cut it already. That's the thing which I'm worried
dear.
about. Is that okay? If you spend like 8 years working on something, I mean, I'm pretty sure you're gonna lose stuff along the way
Aw.
to fit to like the new vision.
But no matter how optimistic I can be, there will be losing a lot of stuff.
They will be losing something. I feel like.
Okay. Fuck it.
But I don't.
We'll judge it when it comes out.
I personally just want it to come out, and that's all that matters right now. I don't care if they cut anything from the game. I don't care if they lose like some stuff or whatever. I just want it out. Yeah, I just want closure on this.
You don't care if
We
the,
will cross the. Yeah,
Oh.
what's that, Alan?
you don't care if the dialogue's bad and the levels are linear.
I don't care if the dialog's bad. I don't care if the dialog's linear, because I know if it plays bad, at least it'll look pretty. At least.
Like Final Fantasy 13.
Like Final Fantasy 13. But I don't think it'll be linear though. That's the thing, because Nomura doesn't make linear games.
I know he doesn't, but you know.
So,
If it is linear, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
yeah, we'll cross it when we get there.
With
But
lots of rage, but we'll cross that bridge later.
right now, I just want it out. That's it. That's all that matters.
It's been in development for 8 years. My God.
No longer than that. Has it?
Oh man.
I mean, what will we bitch about when it comes out?
Half-Life.
Just make it forever? I don't know.
It seems like every podcast we just bitch about this game.
Well, it's a good target.
Because we were promised this shit years ago, damn it.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem came out before this game. What the fuck?
No. They were like, oh yeah, it's Final Fantasy vs. 13. It's only for PS3. Yeah, worldwide.
no, okay. At first they were like, okay, you're gonna get 3 games. You're gonna get Final Fantasy 13, you're gonna get Final Fantasy Versus 13, and Final Fantasy Agito 13. It's gonna be amazing. Then, oh wait, Agito's for mobile phones. Okay, that's out the window. Yeah, Versus after 13 would come out first. It'll come out next year. So yay, enjoy it. And then 13 took 2 years delayed and stuff like that. And after it came out 2 years later. And then 13 and Versus 13, they only showed trailers and was never seen again.
And it was never seen again, you're right. It just sort of disappeared.
Yeah. And then after that, Agito 13 became Type 0. It was only Japan exclusive, and it never came out to the West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, a mobile version of it was made and then came out to the West.
Still
But
not.
we don't talk about that. Yeah, we don't talk about that though.
It's still not out yet,
It's
though.
not
So.
out yet.
I don't want to touch that thing with a 10-foot pole, damn it. I want the frickin' PlayStation Vita version.
The PSP version. It came on two.
well, yeah.
It came on 2 UMDs.
Oh,
It
you're
should
right.
be easy
God
to
damn
port
it.
onto the Vita then.
Yeah, 2 UMDs is
Yeah,
only
because you have.
2 UMDs is only 3 point something gigs. That 4 gig card could totally fit that in.
Why is that crap not on the frickin' PSN store? I would buy that.
I don't know.
God
No,
damn
what
it.
I hated was that they promised that Final Fantasy 13 would be exclusive. And after that, they got rid of that. Then they promised Final Fantasy Versus 13 would be exclusive only to PS3. Then they did a name change, and then they got it to PS4 Xbox One, which I was like, what the hell?
So technically, they're still keeping their promise. Final Fantasy Versus.
No,
13 is
yeah.
still
It's like, okay, remember
exclusive.
Final Fantasy 13? They're like, yeah, it's only exclusive for PS3 only. Then during the E3 conference, they slapped for Japan at the end of it. So PS3 only
So they're
for
still-
Japan. That was the biggest.
So they're technically telling the truth.
Yeah, but that was a horrible bitch slap. It's like, what the fuck? And then like a couple months later, after they released Final Fantasy 13 for Japan, they released Final Fantasy 13 for the 360 in Japan, and that got lots of people pissed off.
Uh,
Yeah. I don't know.
well, you can.
Wait, what?
No, like the more I look at it, the more I see like business being first above video games in Square Enix.
Are you sure? Because
And it doesn't
Blizzard
ship
was
down.
first. They would have made Final Fantasy 7 by now.
What?
True. Well, unless it takes more money, I don't know. They might have run into some
No.
problems with that.
Okay, if they really want to be cheap about it, just follow the same game and just HD rise everything. Bam, done.
Oh god.
Here's your Final Fantasy 7 remake. Top down, like maybe update the mono sound.
That's basically all they have to do. They don't
Maybe
have to actually
redrawn,
remake the game.
redrawn 2D backgrounds. Bam, done.
Yeah, that's really all they have to do. I mean, at this point, I will take something as lazy as that. I will accept them just like remodeling all the assets with like HD version, with like high definition versions on par with
They don't
like.
need to though. They just need to grab Kingdom Hearts Cloud and Tifa and all that shit and just shove it into that game.
Oh no.
Now that's really lazy.
No, that's awful.
God damn it, Brian. No.
If they really want to be that lazy, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah,
I don't
like it.
I think they know that the fans expect a lot more. That's why they're not doing it.
I think the fans want PS3 graphics at least.
Yeah,
Exactly.
think
I mean,
that's
give
why
us the
they're
tech.
not touching
They basically we expect the tech demo.
Yeah.
Damn it, they kind of screwed themselves over with that demo. But anyways,
Yeah. No, it was funny because ever since the N64, they started using Final Fantasy for tech demos, and then ever since the Final Fantasy 7 tech demo, they kind of stopped doing that.
What? They showed Agnes philosophy this gen.
Yeah, but it wasn't supposed to be that. It was supposed to be like Final Fantasy 10 on tech demo or something like that.
What? Why?
Okay, because the N64 tech demo is Final Fantasy 6.
Yeah.
The PS2
PS1.
tech demo is Final Fantasy 8. And then the PS3 tech demo is Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for this one, it's supposed to be like 9 or 10 or something like that, but this Final Fantasy 7 tech demo caused them to rethink,
Tech Devils.
yeah, because everyone want a remake of 7.
to be honest, it was their own damn fault for doing 7. They should have just skipped it.
And what, show off 10 instead or something?
Or 9.
Show off.
9 doesn't get any love for some strange reason.
Final Fantasy 9 on PS4 graphics? Oh man. Actually,
Man, Final Fantasy 9 is pretty though.
Actually, I could see Final Fantasy IX with like high quality PS4 graphics because basically it would just look like the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Because the cutscenes
Yeah, it's
actually
just,
look pretty
you know,
good. Realistic hair
it's
and
just-
everything.
They just maybe stylize a little bit, but that's about it.
Better lighting.
Yeah. The only thing that kind of irked me about 9 was I can do stylized, but Final Fantasy 9 is a little overboard, really.
Yeah.
To be honest, I liked it compared to all the other like really dreary stuff.
Like
The
if I
main
want,
character was
like
perfect. That made me laugh.
yeah, but it's like if I'm looking at
That was
something that's
amazing.
stylized, I kind of expect like Beyond Good and Evil sort of stylized, where it's like if you got a
So, like,
female
within the-
character who's an adult, she's more or less in proportion.
Like within the realm of Final Fantasy stylized, you mean?
Well, Final
be
Fantasy
honest,
style
you
is
were
actually
kinda
just like
right.
stylized realism.
Well, the way I
So
see
like
it,
they've
their
got their
style.
anime-ish eyes.
Well, when I saw Final Fantasy 9, the way I looked at it was stylized, yes, but they still try to make it realistic at the same time, and you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, it kind of looked.
Like you go all full out stylized, or you keep it realistic. That's it. There is no middle ground because it's freaky. But to be honest, I kind of like it more stylized. It would be much more, cuter.
Should they have gone Kingdom Hearts stylized it?
Actually, you know what? Kingdom Hearts stylized would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would work for Final Fantasy 9. Yeah, that would work well. That would work
Yeah.
really well, in fact.
Yeah, because like Kingdom Hearts is like my kind of stylized, where like someone like Sora, he's not an adult, he's a teenager, so him being shorter and having a bigger head makes sense. But it's also everything's just evenly proportioned. Like his head's not massive, and his limbs aren't tiny.
Well, he's got big feet.
And then I
but,
see- And then I see like forget that guy's name, Steiner from Final Fantasy IX, and he's like built like a tank.
They turned him into a
With
kid. That was so funny.
Built like a tank with tiny legs. Although sometimes that works. Actually, his face was just weird looking. technically.
You know, because they made Steiner like super stylized, but then everything else was like pseudo realistic, which was it didn't work.
Yeah, everything else was stylized, but not as much.
Yeah, and like it was just this is like everything is pseudo stylized, and Steiner is like full out stylized, and you're like you can't do that.
Like, it reminded me of Crystal Chronicles, that kind of style. But yeah, Crystal Chronicles, everything had that same. All the kids, all the adults had the exact same proportions, so it didn't feel like anything was jarring. Whereas 9, Garnett, Sylvain, they've got the same proportions. Like, oh yeah, this looks pretty good. Okay, Vivi's a little shorter, but he looks cute that way. And then Steiner, like, what the hell was that?
Why does he have eyeliner?
Yes.
I thought Steiner was a
Yes.
girl for the longest time.
The
Such a
ugliest
massive
girl.
head too.
The ugliest girl on the planet.
No, the ugliest girl is probably the queen.
The Queen was freaky.
Queen was weird. I kind of let the Queen pass because she's supposed to be kind of freaky. I'm like, okay, I can let that slide.
Yeah, I mean, like she's purple.
Made to look like a monster.
But yeah, I would like to see more Final Fantasy IX. I don't know why there is no love for it because it is actually quite popular.
Got some pretty kick-ass music too.
Yeah.
Well, the Final Fantasy series got some kick-ass music. It's like there's always going to be a few of those themes that just stick with you after every game.
Yeah. Now, how do they put it? Like, in Final Fantasy 7 and 8, there's always that broody character who's always depressing, and the world is kind of bleak. In Final Fantasy 9, it kind of started the other way around. Everything was sort of happy. There's a festival, blah blah blah, and then you start realizing each and every single character has a really fucked up past.
Well, that's how the old Final Fantasies were.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't so blatant in the beginning in Final Fantasy 9. In fact, it was happy and cheesy and kind of adorable. And then
that was probably 8's mistake by giving us angst incarnate with Squall.
I don't give a damn.
Why don't you go talk to a wall? We actually kind of are talking to a wall right now.
No, Final
Sorry,
Fantasy 9
Squall, but you are a living wall.
What Reroll season you? I don't get it.
If there's any talks about remaking 8, I will personally go down to Square Enix and beat the shit out of whoever makes the statement.
With PSD graphics?
Yeah. It's like, no. It's like, if there's any game in the Final Fantasy franchise that should not be remade, it's 8.
Or 2.
Nah, I argue all the bravest on the iOS.
Well, they've already basically been, the 1 through 6 have already basically been remade altogether now.
Not really. 6 has it.
6.
They've had, they've been updated recently.
Well, 6, the iOS has been updated, yes, but it's not really a remake though. It's more like a update.
Yeah, Brian wants a full-fledged, re-updated game of Final Fantasy.
No, I just wanted to see it in 3D because I want to see what it would be like in 3D.
Actually, if there's a game that they could remake that I would have absolutely no qualms with, that they could really remake from the ground up and actually make it a pretty good original project and remake at the same time. Remake the first game, but make it kind of like Skyrim or something. Like make it a really true open world, open-ended adventure. Because the characters don't have names. You can choose your classes, so it really is like a fantasy RPG.
Choose class, gender, star Cornelia Castle, and go on.
Yeah.
Basically. I don't know, that seems a little too much even for Square.
What? How's it too much?
They've already made Final Fantasy 14, okay? They can handle an offline RPG.
I don't know, it's Square. They've been disappointing us for how many years now?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the only non-disappointment they released so far is Nier.
Some people might argue.
How about Bravely Default?
And Bravely Default, yeah. Wait, how about Final Fantasy 10 HD Remake?
They already made the game before, so it's just a remake.
I mean,
They're pumping this for nostalgia.
Remastered or whatever.
It's basically the same old game, but with upgraded graphics and music.
Yeah.
Yeah, UI. Like, there's hardly any gameplay changes.
Yeah, but
Are they still pumping us for nostalgia?
I thought Mario was pumping us for nostalgia.
You know what? Nintendo is in its own little universe, its own little tiny bubble where nobody can touch it. I don't even know where I'm going with this. It's just Nintendo. That is their identity.
Like Disney.
Yeah. Actually, to be honest, yeah.
If Disney bought Nintendo.
Disney
Go for it.
affinity galore.
Oh shit! You must sell the toys. There might be movies. Oh man.
Yeah.
Disney
Oh
Infinity
God,
console.
no.
It's like fuck. I mean, okay, the Wii U already have NFC thing which you can already put their toys on top of it already. So imagine if they that'd be crazy.
Disney Channel will
That-
probably be the most watched channel.
Mario Adventures with Friends.
Oh, that'd be scary.
I mean, Nintendo fans are kind of like Disney fans.
They are.
If you think about it, they're, they are really hardcore about their shit.
Ah. Well, are we talking about like Disney movies or like Disney TV shows? The
No,
Disney
like
TV
Disney
shows are
fans,
special place.
Disney fans and Nintendo fans. They're both pretty hardcore about their shit.
Yeah, they are. Oh, they are.
And the California Adventure will probably have more rides. Oh man, gotta go
Dude, I
back.
want to see a Mario Land. Damn it,
Mario. Oh. Mario.
an amusement park, a Mario amusement park. Can you imagine the money?
Yeah. That way you get to go to Princess Peach's castle. You get to race. You can get to race carts. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, if you compile all of the Mario games, in fact, they've already done it before in a video game format. That Mario, Nintendo's like all of Nintendo's like games are basically just amusement park
It's
rides.
basically Nintendo Land, but in real life.
Yeah, but real because Nintendo Land is freaking awesome. Like they have their own haunted house. It's Luigi's Haunted Mansion,
Yeah.
and
Wait a
they
moment.
have like a shit ton of like Star Fox and Samus could be like the freaking shooter and the slash like roller coaster. Freaking Princess Peach. They have their own fucking castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo World would be a big hit, especially in Japan.
Oh god, people from America would just go there just for that.
Just go to Kyoto.
Kyoto.
Yeah, that's where Nintendo's located anyway. You can visit a temple while you're there and stuff.
I don't think the monks would be too pleased.
Visit the temples or visit the Nintendo Land. Fuck that. Yeah, Mom, I'm going to Kyoto to study Japanese culture. Then once you get there, fuck that.
5,000 years of tradition? Fuck that.
Or basically,
actually, studying
or we could
Nintendo-
just have Disney
studying
buy out
Nintendo is
Nintendo. Just have Disney buy out Nintendo and expand every Disney World to add a Nintendo Land.
I mean, where would they expand? Disneyland's already packed full. I mean, California Adventure's already where the parking lot used to be.
Well, they'll have to buy out more land.
If you think about it, studying Nintendo would be the culture. Technically, you're studying the culture of Japan to begin with. An aspect of Japanese culture. Oh my god, I can still imagine Nintendo Land sprouting out and like competing with Disney. Can you imagine Mickey Mouse and Mario duking it out?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, there's already.
Oh, let's have to
Yeah, I
enforce
gotta-
this. There'll be Mickey Mouse and Mario at the Olympics.
The next Olympics is in Tokyo.
Hey.
What they're gonna
2020,
do
as
for
Gamer
like
called
the
it.
wonder what they're gonna do for like the special shows and everything, like the big grand performances, like this Winter Olympics they had like the ice skating dances and everything. So in Japan, what are they gonna do there?
Well, I don't know. Russia's known for their ballerinas and ice skaters, so of
And
course they
teddy
would do
bears.
ballet and ice skating.
Japan, they're gonna unveil their first giant robot, their first Gundam.
They already have a giant robot sitting there, and it moves and like lights up and everything.
Yeah.
They'll have it dance.
Oh my god, seeing Gundam dance. Why?
No, it'll be a maid robot.
Yeah.
It'll be a
China will
sunspot.
see as a force of threat. Oh
Hmm.
god, a giant maid robot fighting in the Sea of Japan.
Giant Gundam made robot.
Yeah. Giant Gundam maid robot fighting the Chinese fleet. That would be something I would pay to watch. And I'm sure there's some anime that would compensate for that. God damn it, Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, Japan, you wacky bitches.
Well, speaking about Japan, Tales of Hearts R, a Tales game, is finally coming to the Vita in the West in the fall.
Your segue wasn't very good.
I know, I try. Yeah. So, have you guys ever played the Tales game before?
I played a little bit of
Mine has.
Symphonia, but then I stopped because I felt very misled because on the back they advertised like stunning, high quality anime style cutscenes, and that was only in the intro.
Oh.
Oh,
Everything else was in game.
Yeah, but Symphonia is still a pretty good game though.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it's not like Metal Saw like HD Rise remaster, but it's still in HD. They just haven't touched the textures or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you should give it a
so
chance.
the only person who actually played it a lot would be Brian.
I played
Brian,
Vesperia on the 360.
and you also enlighten us.
Well, you know the Tales games are basically Final Fantasy light. I mean, with real time battle systems.
I wouldn't say that. I think they're more of a Saturday afternoon anime series, but in RPG form.
Yeah, but you know, that's still pretty fun.
Yeah, they are. But then, instead of potions, you use apple gels instead
Yeah,
of.
What?
Yeah.
yeah.
To heal yourself, use apple gels.
I just think people gave it shit is because they take one look at it, they're like, oh man, this is another anime bullshit game. I'm like, no, it's not another anime bullshit game. It's
Well,
actually
kind of. Except
no,
that.
at face value it is, yes.
Yeah, it looks like that.
But you know, once you get into assistance, you're like, holy shit, it's actually quite fun and all that shit. But yeah.
And it also has a real-time battle system, so instead of choosing attack and defend and all that stuff, you actually, can run around and attack by pressing square and
Yeah,
stuff.
but you know, people don't give it any chances, which I think is, you
Well,
know,
in America.
it's not in this game, damn it.
That good, that's not.
Yeah,
Uh,
Well, it's gaining more popularity in America now, isn't it?
yeah.
yeah, it is. It's
Well, then
because.
again, I would like to.
Wait, what?
What are you saying?
Yeah, I think it's because during the PS2 days when they released Symphonia for the PS2 and GameCube, that's when it started gaining popularity in the West. But then after a couple of years, they decided to not release any of the Tales games to the West because the sales weren't that good. And after that, they started losing fans then. But then recently, they started bringing over the Tales game back again. They started Tales of Graces F, Vesperia, and stuff. And now they're actually gaining fans again.
I wouldn't say Grace's F is that good.
It's not, but it's one of the games that actually
Propel.
uh, bring the games to start introduce people in the West to the Tales series again.
I don't know. I would like to think America's also starting to develop a more, I guess,
Diverse.
tolerant, like perspective on anime and things like that. That also might be it. Maybe
Yeah, I can see that.
not the vast majority, but it's starting to grow just a little bit.
No, yeah, but more people our generation started to watch anime, I guess.
Yeah. Freaking Megan Fox knows Gundam Wing and Sailor Moon. That blew my mind.
I mean, everybody our generation knows Yu-Gi-Oh and Dragon Ball.
Not totally
Yeah.
spies.
Oh god.
And everybody knows Pokemon, which is an amazing gateway drug to anime.
Yeah.
Oh God. And Toonami is back too.
Do they still show anime?
Wait, do kids these days still watch
Yes.
anime?
I
Well,
think so.
Toonami's not like Adult Swim late night, but kids still stay up and watch Family Guy, and Toonami shows up every Saturday. So
Kids these days don't watch anime anymore, do they?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they do. Like Sword Art Online and stuff.
Pokemon.
I
Yeah.
know. in America, anyways, there's not a great influx of new animes. Like I keep up to date with anime fairly well. I'm sure Paul does too. Like I'm not gonna see Kill la Kill on Toonami anytime soon. In fact, I don't think I can see that in America.
That's because Kill la Kill looks like shit.
What?
To be honest, I don't think I can see Kill la Kill in America, even though it's freaking amazing.
No, I've had the art style kind of looks like shit compared to other anime out there.
I don't
To
know.
be
I
honest,
think
Kill la Kill is actually really good.
Yeah, the anime is, it's one of your fight of the week anime, but but
Kind of stupid.
the art style looks like shit compared to like production IG work.
Well,
Well-
keep in mind. This is Gainax. No, it's not. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. It's not Gainax. It's the people who are from Gainax that left, and the directors of Gurren Lagann wanted the greatest animes from Gainax. So
Yeah.
this is basically the people who left Gainax. And Aniplex too, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, a bunch of animes have been coming out in Japan, because it comes out every winter and fall.
Yeah, I think stuff like Crunchyroll is helping.
Yeah. But you don't really see it on American TV, even though there is a dedicated program to anime on American television.
What is it called?
Toonami, technically. But all they show is like Cowboy Bebop and Ghost in the Shell, which are great animes, but that's all they show.
Yeah.
Yeah. The critically acclaimed ones.
Don't,
Yeah, basically
wait,
the ones
what's that
people are
channel
comfortable
in
with.
Singapore, Alan?
Huh?
What's that channel in Singapore? Like Aniplex or something?
Animax or something like that?
Yeah, whatever. Like, all they show is One Piece and Naruto.
Okay.
Yeah. And Bleach.
Yeah, and Bleach.
Well, I'm gonna assume it's not the 4Kids version of One Piece.
I don't know. I've never watched that channel because all Bleach, Naruto,
Okay.
and One Piece.
Okay, here's the thing. If you watch a One Piece anime and the soldiers for some reason don't have guns, they have water guns, that is the 4Kids fuck up. 4Kids, because they gave all the soldiers water guns. Really bad.
Okay.
yeah.
And
How do we get on
yeah,
this?
it's so that. How the hell did we get on this topic anyways? But anyway.
We're talking about the Tales games. We're talking about Tales of Hearts coming to the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, anime is getting more tolerant in America, blah, blah, blah. I hope it gets better, yada, yada, yada. Tales are great, I guess, whatever.
Great, whatever. It's not a bad
Let's wrap-
RPG,
let's
though.
wrap-
No, the Tell series is not a bad RPG. In fact, it's a really enjoyable RPG. But, people just don't give it a chance.
Because one of those filler games you play in between Final Fantasies.
Yeah, but...
Really? Are we trying to promote this game? Because if we are, you're doing a terrible job.
We're not. We're just pointing it out. That,
Well, okay, it's actually really fun. Like, it's not
one of your B plus RPGs out there.
It's not epic like Final Fantasy is. It's not like blowing out of your mind, that kind of shit. It's more like, hey, we're a group of friends, let's go and have fun, that kind of shit.
Okay.
Yeah, so
The thing is,
ever in the mood
on
for like,
PlayStation.
a lighthearted adventure, then yeah.
Comes out for PlayStation Vita this winter.
Okay, I'll take a look into that.
Yeah.
Why the hell not? If it
Okay,
gets hooked into it,
Zilla,
I'll kill you
hello,
all.
you have a PS3 already.
Oh yeah, and then
I do have a PS3.
Symphonia is also on the PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked you that if it was on the PS3.
So Graces F, Symphonia, and Zilla is all on PS3.
I actually should probably get more PlayStation 3 games because that poor thing is just sitting there collecting dust.
What the hell? Yeah.
It's kind of sad. Oh
Okay,
well.
GTA 5, bad, done.
Yeah.
We do have GTA 5. My brother beat it in like a week.
Really?
How old is he?
Yeah. My brother? He's 18.
18?
Yeah, he's 18.
Oh, okay. So is he like starting to look for college and stuff now?
Yeah. He's actually still technically a junior because it got held back in kinder. Why are we talking about this anyways?
I don't know. Okay.
Why do we keep on getting distracted?
I have no idea. Anyway, next topic. Speaking about RPGs, Dragon Age 3 is coming out in October. How do you guys think about that?
I like Dragon Age. I might want to get it though, actually. I saw the gameplay trailer for it. I was like, holy shit, that actually looks pretty good. Well, not good as in like, wow, this looks amazingly graphically. And well, it's more like, it looks like an
No, it
upgrade.
just looks like a polished Mass Effect game.
Yeah?
No, that's
Well,
what
you
I-
never played Mass Effect, Alan, so shut up, go away.
Yeah. I played Dragon Age.
Oh, you never played Mass Effect.
I'm only hoping they bring back Varric. That's all I care
They
about.
did.
They do.
They are
Good.
bringing back Varys.
He's
They're
back.
bringing
Okay,
back
I'll
Morgan
get it.
too. They might bring back. I think people are saying Leilana's coming back too because they thought they saw her in the trailer.
Well, she
Whoa.
did show up at in the stinger for Dragon Age 2.
True, she did. Which is weird because I thought she killed herself in Dragon Age 1. But anyways,
Yeah.
Well, that was probably like one of the little side
yeah, one of the.
storylines. If you, yeah, they probably chose one where she doesn't.
Well, if they're bringing back Leilana and Morgan, I wonder what happened to the first Grey Warden.
I don't know.
I think that depends on what you choose because like
I know it depends on what you
could
choose.
become
I know, like,
king or you could become an outlaw or whatever.
No, I do wonder
There's
how.
different
because I know in
endings.
say what?
I do wonder how this Hawk plays into this though, because it's a new character this time.
Hawk?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, how is Hawk gonna play into all this? 'Cause, yeah, you do
And
have a
Alistair
fully.
too. He's technically the king. He's the king of Ferelden, Alistair.
Alistair? Really?
He's like,
Yeah, Alistair becomes king of Ferelden. It's that's canon.
Okay.
okay, that's
And
good.
I remember that because you were playing it, Ryan.
Oh yeah, and it's also coming for current gen and next gen.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so you can play it on your
I
PS3.
hope the world is much bigger.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It is.
They actually
Yeah.
showed off.
They're putting exploration.
Yeah.
Hmm. Although the term Inquisition confuses me.
Why?
Because Inquisition means you're an organization that is hunting down anybody who's a non-believer.
Well, actually, there. I remember the story of the second one. And it's like basically by the end of it, your actions have condemned mages around the world,
Yeah.
Basically.
and the Templars
They're
are
all
basically gonna
mages.
try and hunt them to extinction.
Yeah.
So it's a witch
basically.
hunt.
Oh, but then your sister will be captured then.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but you're not playing
It's,
Hawk anymore.
Oh yeah.
So.
But that's what I want to know. It's like, how is Hawk? It's like, how does Hawk factor into this?
Well, I think depending on your gameplay, he will have joined either you or he will have joined the mages, wasn't it?
Yeah, join the mages of the Templars because
Yeah.
that was one of the options.
No,
Well, actually, from what
my problem is that if I'm gonna get it for the PS4, then I guess I'll have to choose something default, huh?
No, it's up to
Since my game saves will carry over.
Of course.
Well, actually, from what I could tell, it's not really them hunting down the mages, even though the mages were condemned in Dragon Age 2. Like, this is where the term Inquisition confuses me. Because Inquisition is like a witch hunt. They're hunting down anyone who's a non-believer.
Yeah.
Well, in reality, but in this one, if you say Inquisition, you're going to assume they're hunting down the mages, but they're not. They're hunting down demons.
Well,
So,
from the Fae?
yeah, apparently the Fade blew up. Like, there's a giant hole.
No, but I thought your main character this time was somebody who came out from the Fae.
Yeah, he came out of the Fade. Like, there's a giant hole and some big explosion that killed thousands of people, and you are the only survivor, and you can use magic.
Why does
Like,
this
really?
sound like Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning?
It does.
Okay. It's like,
And
wait a
you
minute, this is
essentially
starting
have
to
to
feel
gather.
familiar.
Yeah, well, essentially, then you have to gather a bunch of friends, and they're
All
from
the
different
RPGs are
sides.
inbreeding.
And then you gotta get them together, and you form the Inquisition, which is like hunting down demons and those people who have been possessed, and exorcising them. I guess I don't know. And you have to go and close this giant gaping hole that is like allowing demons to come from the Fade into the real world. That is the plot.
Okay.
And I don't know how the mages factor into this, because then if you think about it, the mages are the most vulnerable. But that's it. That's all I got. That's all I know about Inquisition.
I was thinking about getting it.
What do you think of the graphics?
Looks alright. I mean, it doesn't look like wow, but you know, it still looks pretty good.
I took a look at it. It was pretty good. It wasn't like, yeah, it's like Brian said. It's not like bad. It's not like superbly amazing. It's just like it's decent.
Yeah. Like I'm not expecting much actually. Like I don't want it to look like Witcher 3. But you know, as long as it looks good, then you know it's fine, or at least looks okay. Then you know, whatever. As long as it doesn't look like Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13.
Okay. Well, really, because when I looked at the trailer and some of the screenshots, they were using a new engine, and
Was it
I
using the
said it looked
Frostbite
decent.
engine or something?
Yeah, they're using the Frostbite
Yeah.
engine.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I said
Well,
it looked decent, but to
actually,
be honest, I think it
if
looks
they're
really
using the
good.
Frostbite engine, I'm expecting it to look.
Yeah, I expect awesome lens flares then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a ton of lens flares. If
Yeah.
you can look at some of the screenshots, it's actually really pretty. I probably shouldn't have said it looked decent.
So what will this gen's Bloom be lens flares?
I hope not.
I mean, Metal Gear did that.
America did. Well, yeah.
But that's Metal Gear.
America never had lens flares before. Not like
I
this
think
much.
I think we'll see more lens flare.
Yeah. Because why not? It's in our media already, so why not?
I
And
just
it
suddenly thought of Star Trek.
Yeah, people are playing Star Trek for it. Well, think about it. Like, look at the movies these days. There's tons of lens flares everywhere.
Shaky cam. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you were saying, Paul?
oh no, nothing.
Paul, stop distracting yourself. I know you're playing a video game or something.
So am I.
Oh my.
So am I.
Am I the only one who's not? Who's actually sitting here
Yes.
listening intently? You guys
Well,
all
you know,
suck.
we're still listening. We're still talking about shit and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess it's becoming easier to develop lens flares in the games now. Like I just saw Unreal 4
Mhm.
engine, and I guess they have ways that you could just put lens flares into the game.
Well, is it a simple slider?
I think so. Yeah,
Huh.
it's pretty easy. It's like reflecting off a surface.
Oh, okay.
So you could take a surface of like a shining surface, and it'll turn into a lens flare, I guess.
That's interesting.
Hmm.
Okay. Um. Hold on.
Yes.
So okay, I have two topics left, and they're all about China.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you guys want to
This is
talk about? Basically, we're talking about there are more Chinese gamers than American citizens,
No shit.
It's China.
and then now you could sell consoles in China, but you have to pass through a stringent uh,
Censorship.
censorship in order to get your games sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk
I'm
about
surprised.
China censorship actually, because I'm
Okay.
really interested in it.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me pull up the link. Da, 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 da. Okay, these are the rules you have to get past in order to sell your game in China. Basically, the game can't have any gambling-related content or game features, so that's basically every free-to-play game. um, you can't sell anything that violates China's constitution. I get that. Anything that threatens China's national unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. Okay, so
So basically, don't be political.
any game of Taiwan is out the window.
Taiwan, Tibet. Okay, so China 2 can't be sold.
No, you can't. So any game that harms the nation's reputation, security, or interest. Okay, see you Battlefield 4. Any game that instigates racial, ethnic hatred, or harms ethnic traditions and cultures, well, say goodbye to that, Valkyria Chronicles. Anything that violates China's policy on religion by promoting a cult or superstition, so no Dragon Age or of any sort or Bioware games. Anything that promotes incites obscenity, drug use, and violence, so no GTA 5.
Period.
And then anything that harms the public ethics of China's culture and tradition, yeah. Anything that insults, slanders, or violates the rights of others. That's basically every game. And then and anything that violates Chinese law. So those are a few things you have to get past. But
So I guess the only game. Wait, does that mean if I somehow get to promote a video game of chess. China's gonna somehow implement the racial thing that is white chess pieces and black chess pieces.
No, I don't think they'll go that deep though.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because it's China.
You can sell Chinese chess.
Chinese checkers.
Yeah.
Because why not? No, I mean, I guess only Nintendo games are allowed too then, huh?
I don't know. China's been getting really angsty about Japan, so I think they're like getting rid of anything Japan.
I don't think they're worried about Japan.
No, I don't think so.
No.
No, not the government, but like the people.
No, the thing is, China doesn't view video games as a storytelling medium. They still think it as a kid's toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far behind are they on the times?
Well, you know, considering they have censorship there,
I think just culturally, I think they're still in 1950s America.
Yeah.
Well, at least they don't look like it. Like if you look at North Korea, it looks like they're still like frozen in the 1950s.
Yeah.
Like from equipment to cars to the way the road is, the freaking cameras are still black and white.
No.
That
They're
doesn't
really stuck
help.
in the 40s.
Those black and white photos don't help.
No, if you take a picture of North Korea and just turn it black and white, it will fit in right in.
Exactly.
In World War II pictures and stuff.
Basically, you could like just it's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, China's stuck in like the 1950s socially.
Yeah, that's what I think. But you know, with 2014 technology.
That's a really weird culture then.
Well,
Is that culture still relevant to China?
Huh?
Is that culture like still Chinese in a sense then? Wouldn't have it warped into something else by now?
No.
Because I know the Korean culture is dying out all kinds of fast.
Why? What's it becoming?
Basically, the Matrix.
What?
So much computer games.
So much plastic surgery too.
There's a freaking boot camp for people who are addicted to freaking computers.
Not
A
plastic
boot
surgery?
camp for compute.
I
No, not plastic.
would think there'll be a boot camp of people who are addicted to plastic surgery there too.
I guess because the plastic surgeons and Koreans are so good, it doesn't really matter.
And it contributes to the economy.
That too, but like if you're addicted to video games, it doesn't contribute to anything except for dead babies.
Well, okay, I get it when you've been playing like MMORPGs like 24/7. It's like, God damn it, don't you know when to quit?
No.
No.
It's called stop grinding, close your web browser, and go do something else.
Step out into the light, damn it.
Well, stepping out into the light will hurt them, so yeah,
They're not vampires. They might be actually. But yeah, just I don't know. That type of kind of social freeze in China must be really bad.
No, I think communism didn't really help China that much.
Has communism helped any country, Alan?
Cuba?
What happened to Cuba?
I don't know.
They got money from the Russians.
Not anymore. Not when the
No.
Soviet Union collapsed.
Yeah, that's true.
To be honest, China is like the closest thing to a working communism because they embraced capitalism economically.
Yeah. But I don't think they will lead inside the creation of media for any time soon if they stick with communism, though.
Nope. They'll be the greatest pirates in the world, though.
I thought they are already.
They are. I don't know. It's a toss-up between the real pirates in Somalia and then the internet pirates in China. That is a tough call. anyways, was the censorship in China and the really bad corruption in the lower tiers of the government.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's corruption everywhere.
Basically, China just needs to get its things figured out if it wants to do any sort of media storytelling.
Well, China has bigger problems to deal with, like population for one.
Well, that's always been a problem. At this point, it's almost like a lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
Which is really weird because their two closest neighbors
I
have like
dying
the
out.
exact opposite problem.
They need more people.
Like Japan and Korea need more babies, damn it, and China has too much. Why don't you trade?
Uh-oh.
South Korea and Japan will give you all our old people. You can give us all the like angsty little children. We'll take them all.
Man, if Japan, Korea open up immigration to China, holy shit.
Holy shit.
Oh god, that'd be funny as hell, actually.
That basically become they just basically become Chinese provinces then.
They kind of.
Oh,
Wow.
Not unless we brainwash them when they're babies, it might work. Because the old people are too old to do anything, and they don't care. They just want like to live happy. They want the TV. God damn it, these are terrible things to say.
Well, there are problems which we're gonna have to face in our lifetime anyway, so it's like, I don't know.
And yet we're slowly once again diverging from the topic of video games.
Well, the topic is basically about China and gaming.
Yeah. Well, I don't think China's that big into gaming though. That's the thing.
No, but you know, there's a huge market for gaming
They're
considering
they're a huge market for gaming, but like I don't think consoles would go for in gaming because the average Chinese living place is just like average Chinese village where you go to the internet cafes to play all that stuff.
no, they
Yeah,
live
so
in cities
basically they
now.
get just like really old games from the 90s for the computer, or pirated games, or like copied games. So basically they get like really cheap games, just regular.
Homegrown games though.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing really impressive,
Yeah.
nothing really special standing out either. So
Actually, yeah, let's talk about that. Compare China's homegrown games to um, our Western games. Like, do
Okay.
you think
I don't think Romance of Three Kingdoms will be a hit worldwide.
yeah,
Scott
it'll be a
Dynasty
hit in
Warriors?
Asia, but that's it.
I mean, it's called Dynasty Warriors, yeah, but that's it.
But do you think it gives them a? It's kind of like how the Japanese developed their console games when the West developed PC games. Like, how do you think Chinese game development will change because of the fact that they aren't exposed to Western games? They're mostly exposed to their own games for their own culture.
I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, that would be because Japan has already been so westernized and influenced by America that their game reflects that influence.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, to a degree, we think it's still a couple Japanese-esque games, mainly
Problem
JRPGs.
is, when they make Chinese games, they want to make it exclusively for the Chinese market because that's what
And
they
that's
know.
what Japan did in the beginning with their games.
Yeah, but with Japan, they at least broadcast it in English, at least.
Yeah.
You don't think we'll see Chinese games somehow enter in the Western market
We
and take
will.
off?
Take off. I'm not so sure it will take off though because I've never seen
Or
like
has that culture of communism squashed out the creativity that the Chinese people have?
I don't
I
think.
don't think so. There are still plenty of really good, talented artists and graphic designers coming out of
Yeah.
China, and illustrators and animators and game developers too. It's just you can't do shit in China. You gotta leave.
No, I think that if you want to allow that, I think you need to make it culturally what is it? Culturally acceptable, uh, in order to make your games appeal to the West though. Like there's a lot of Chinese stuff which a lot of Westerners take a look and they're like, that looks weird. I'm not touching that.
Yeah. And at the same time, they already have a really, really powerful competitor, and that is Japan.
Well, Japan's dying out. That's the thing.
Well, their influence is still really strong. I mean, in Korea, there's a ton of video games that nobody's ever heard of that are okay. But the reason you never hear about it is because the Japanese game companies essentially go to South Korea and they look for the really talented game developers and they hire them.
Yeah.
So Japan might actually start if China does like somehow embrace video games, like say the next 10 years and they become like a video game development powerhouse.
Well, they already are. I mean, was it Tencent owns Epic Games or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but essentially Japan would start poaching off some of the developers, which they've done for I don't know how many years. Dear God, how long have they been doing that?
Ever since World War II, I guess.
Well, ever since the beginning of World War II, when they couldn't do it militarily, they did it economically.
I mean, the annexation of Korea was like how long ago?
18. It was when William Howard Taft was president. I'm not entirely sure why I know this.
Oh man, that's like ages ago, man.
That was 1800s. Essentially, he traded the Philippines for South Korea, and that pissed off the South Koreans. Well, Koreans.
Hmm.
And then Japan invaded the Philippines like 50 odd years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even Japan does the same thing for anime. They just get the really talented people from countries around them because their influence is so massive.
Then what's to prevent China from doing the same?
To be honest, China has its own influence.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the spheres of influence, Japan clearly has South Korea under its belt in terms of economy, in terms of economy and like media, television media.
Compared
and
to,
video
oh yeah, yeah, soft power is definitely Japan has the upper
Yeah,
hand.
and China's influence is a little bit more militant, obviously,
Or economics, yeah.
or economics. Yeah, they do have economic influence too, but their economics is just like typical shoes, t-shirts, clothes, cheap stuff.
Yeah, but they don't make media. I'm saying, well, China eventually, Chinese media eventually, take off, like how Japanese media took off in the West.
Hmm. In terms of video games,
Well, yeah, maybe.
I can see it, but it would be clashing with Japan quite a bit,
Hmm.
which would in turn might kick Japan in the rear ass and get the fire started up again.
Yeah. Better games for everyone.
Yeah, basically, more competition. There's no problem with that. I mean, Japan's not going to die out in terms of video games. There's too much history in it,
Yeah.
and China can
Japan,
start.
Japan is kind of already dying out though, slowly.
Yeah, but I don't think I can see Nintendo or Sony dying anytime soon.
No, I think Nintendo. I think companies like Sony and Nintendo will probably just branch out and start hiring foreign workers instead of Japanese workers.
Yeah, I mean,
Basically,
look at
they already
Sony.
do that.
Look at Sony. They're already like making.
Yeah, Sony already has been doing that. Nintendo, on the other hand, they're just starting to do that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying
yeah.
how about companies like Tecmo Koei or like Konami and all that stuff. So.
Konami's doing that too. I mean, they just opened up an LA studio.
Well, no, that's Kojima's production.
Well, yeah. That's the start.
Yeah.
And Kojima Productions is their biggest cash cow.
How about Capcom?
Well, let's not talk about
Capcom.
Capcom.
They made one of their greatest creators leave because they're being a jerk.
And they canceled 2 Mega Man games because of that.
Yeah, and that's why the freaking creator left. And that's childish.
Capcom doesn't know what they're doing.
No, what they used to, once upon a time. A long time ago in a faraway land.
And Square owns Idios now, so they kind of have a Western counterpart.
No, I think, well, Japan has always been going into an economic recession for the longest of times.
Well, that was ever since the like '90s or something. 2000.
Yeah, to be honest, I think Japan's video game industry will bounce back because
Yeah, but
hit rock
will it
bottom.
be like a height of power like back in the 90s? I don't think so.
No.
No, it's gonna bounce back and it's gonna be okay, but that stability will probably stay there for quite a while.
I don't think it'll
And
bounce back. I think it'll plateau.
yeah, just like even out.
Yeah. But
And at the same time, if you think about it, if China does become a powerhouse video game company with their own, might drive the prices up, add some more competition, like I said before.
hmm.
I would like to think that would be a good thing, but at the same time, looking at China and the state they are now, I can't imagine their first video game.
I personally think China needs its own identity for video games though. Like so far they're just copying everybody else though.
That's how you start, though.
Yeah, but they're not leaving that sphere of copying.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's a 10 to 20 year thing. But you know, who knows? Let's just hope World War III doesn't happen between then.
That would destroy everything. I know, Ryan. Like if, like say 10, 20 years, or Japan, or not Japan, China's video game industry like explodes in a good way. Um, can you imagine what? Can you just imagine what the Chinese first like homegrown worldwide distributed video game would be?
Yeah. Probably
It better not
something.
be.
Probably something historical based.
Yeah, I was gonna think that too.
Really? Not like a kart racer or anything?
No.
No, I think of something sort of like
Because
probably an
okay,
RPG.
I'm pretty sure that like the Chinese government will want to like something to promote Chinese ideologies. So of course they will want to like do something historical based.
Well, if they keep doing that, it's never gonna take off then.
Well, that's what the Chinese government will always want to use. Like if
Well,
you're
this is in like a perfect condition. Like say the Chinese government like loosened up their hands on a lot because like they were more lenient, and this is obviously
like hell
impossible.
they will. Not with the current.
Like hell it would, yes. But imagine just like for the
Okay, fine.
if the government like were more lenient and less corrupt than a very powerful video game company started up in China. Their first video game, even with lenient laws, I would think it'd be something historical.
Yeah.
Something to jumping in safe waters.
But I think in order to see how China um, will do under that kind of leadership, I think we have to take a look at Taiwan because Taiwan is under a democratic leadership and uh, I, well, do their games actually take off, Brian?
No.
What do you think?
Their games
Because they're so
don't
economic.
take off at all.
Actually, yeah, when I was in Taiwan, they all play Warcraft 3 and stuff.
Yeah.
God damn it! Did Blizzard take over another country?
Like WoW and stuff. That's how I see them playing over there.
No, internet cafes too.
Yeah, but at the internet cafes, they're all just playing WoW and stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
It
what?
makes Taiwan sound like a mini Korea.
Yeah. Well, Taiwan's kind of like a Chinese by Japan.
Oh God.
It used to be Japan's colony, like model colony.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like cosplayers and like maid cafes and all that other stuff. But they all speak Chinese.
They have the same thing like that in Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, like Southeast Asia, there are a bunch of cosplayers in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Because Japan's influence is really large, which is very strange for all the inks that they left behind.
I think all the acts they left behind was mostly in Korea and China.
Oh God. Dang it, Korea.
Yeah. I mean, anti-Japanese sentiment in Korea is in China is quite high compared to the other part of the world.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, China's still pissed off over World War II, and so is Korea, though. So it's like,
Everyone's still pissed off about World War II. It doesn't help the politicians go to that stupid shrine where frickin' Tojo's entombed.
Yeah.
They do it every year too, which is so dumb.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly the politicians who are old. They're like, what? We need to uphold the tradition.
We can't look like us if we're weak.
Even though we got their asses were handed to them with 2 nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't accept it gracefully, did they?
No.
And then again, I can't say the same thing for Korea. Korea doesn't accept things gracefully either. Nor does China, now that I think about it. Maybe it's just an Asian thing.
Old grudges.
Yeah, we hold grudges like there's freaking no tomorrow.
I mean, I don't see people getting pissed at Genghis Khan.
They should be. I don't know why they shouldn't be. I don't know. Maybe because Genghis Khan united a massive empire and they're like, we respect
Oh, maybe
power.
because he's like, what, 400, 300 years old or something? I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah, like people.
Wait, so you're saying it takes like 400 years for people to get over grudges in Asia? God damn it.
I think so. Judging by the look of things, it's like people don't care anymore. Well, so like, ooh, crap.
Oh, that means the freaking when the Japanese invaded Korea during the samurai ages, we still have like another 250 years to go. Oh wait a minute, no, we should be over that shit because it happened in the 1500s.
But then World War II happened.
Oh shit.
So kind of.
And that was only 300 years after the invasion, so that means we had 50 years to go, and then Japan invaded again.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Damn it, Japan.
Damn it, we were so close, Japan. Well, Asia, in a nutshell. We hold grudges like there's no friggin' tomorrow, because there isn't, apparently.
I mean, I would think we will have better things to do than just hold grudges, but apparently tradition holds way deeper.
Yeah.
Well, between China, Korea, and Japan, and most of Southeast Asia, I understand why you should hold traditions, like, greatly, especially because we were westernized so much.
Yeah.
But, goddamn.
But you know, to the extent of holding grudges like 300 years later.
Yeah, to the extent where, like, the samurais invaded Korea and raped our women, we will never forgive them. Like, that happened in 1552, man. Nobody's alive.
50-52.
We've lost the graves. Seriously, Korea has forgotten all of the massive graves where we buried the samurais and the Korean soldiers. We don't know where they're buried anymore.
Probably somewhere in North Korea.
You know, to be honest, probably because Japan pushed away that high up, that far up. And can you imagine if North and South Korea united?
Oh man.
Well,
Oh, man,
okay,
but-
first of all, if they united, then there would be a huge economic downturn, for one.
Yeah, that's for South Korea, not for North Korea. North Korea would be a good thing, but for us, no.
North Korea will probably move up like 500 places. South Korea will probably drop down like 20 places.
Yeah, it would actually. That's what. No, that's the great part of it all. That's the beauty of it all. Like you ask any South Korean, do you want to reunite with North Korea? And it's like, no. It's like, is it because they're so mean and belligerent? Is it because they're so violent? It's like, hell no. Because economically it would fuck us over.
Yeah, it would.
I mean, North Korea will probably go from like Gambia level all the way up to like Vietnam level. After that,
It wouldn't be North Korea anymore. It'd be like one Korea, and then we wouldn't be happy because then after that we need to borrow the money from somebody, and China would be pissed if we united. Because if you think about it, it'd obviously be under South Korea's rule.
Well-
and Japan, we don't like Japan, so we can't get help from them. And the Americans just don't want to help because that's a shit ton of money.
No, in order for unify, I think the Americans will have to get out then. I think that's the only way for China to allow them to unify then.
And the only reason why America is there is because North Korea is being a dick.
Yeah. I mean, if North Korea and South Korea could unite, then there would be no need for an American presence in Korea. They could just stay in like Japan and Guam.
To be honest, those nuclear reactors in North Korea are more frightening than anything on the planet because they're so unstable. It's not that they're gonna bomb America or bomb South Korea or Japan or China. It's just that it's sitting there and one day it's gonna blow up. And there's like,
Crap. That's what's gonna blow our way.
yeah, basically, Japan's gonna be pissed because it has way too many nuclear problems to begin with. And China's gonna be pissed because, well, here's our like one and only ally in this region, and they just basically blew their own balls off. And
The
then
only
just-
reason why North Korea's around is because they need a buffer between the United States and themselves. They don't want American soldiers at their doorstep.
I'm just tired of it all. God damn it. My father told me, like, you know what, you're probably going to see Korea get reunited. Really? When? Probably when you're 60 or 80.
I
my
kind of
God.
doubt that. I don't know. Judging by current situation, I think it'll be longer, though.
Probably. And to be honest, at this point, we can't call them Koreans anymore because culturally we're becoming so different, we can't communicate.
Really? Even though it's the same
Yeah.
language and everything.
No, the language
No,
is
they
changing.
speak like the old way.
dialect.
Basically, it's like if you meet someone who's speaking Old English.
Yeah.
Like old English, like 1500 Old English. And
Like
Like
now-
Shakespearean English?
basically, North Korea did literally stop in the 1950s when they're still using the Joseon dialect, which was the Korea before Japan. And they still have Japanese terms in their language because, you know, Japan was the colony of Japan.
Yeah.
South Korea went over all that a long time ago.
And now they have English inside there.
Yeah, and they have English coming over too, so the language is being warped even more. There are books for when Korea is unified. how to get along with a North Korean.
Oh man.
Oh, damn it.
Well, okay. How would reunification have effect on the world economy, though?
Let's see. Korea would go down the tube really, really fast.
Yeah.
China's not going to be, to be honest, even if America left, I think China's going to be very unhappy about the idea of reunification.
Well, China's never gonna be happy about anything if you think about it.
Yeah, you're actually right. And to be honest, I think
No, I
they're
think the other
actually-
way they would be happy if they could take over Taiwan and Korea, and they let go and trade it for Korea.
but then the Taiwanese will not be happy.
Yeah, the Taiwanese will not be happy.
So basically, someone has to be unhappy.
Yeah.
But well, even if it's reunified, the economy's going to go down to the tube. China's not going to be happy. They're never happy. To be honest, they might be a little happy because North Korea is being a piece of crap to them.
No, actually, they won't. There'll probably be a lot of refugees crossing the border.
Yeah, they'll still be unhappy about that.
Yeah.
Japan is going to start demanding a lot of shit from Korea because North Korea kidnapped all those Japanese kids a long time ago. They have yet to find their remains.
And yet another reason to hold grudges.
Yeah, another reason to hold freaking grudge. To be honest, the South Koreans feel bad. The South Koreans shouldn't. Then you're gonna have to deal with the Korean prostitutes in the Manchuria.
But
God.
that's still the.
And China will probably start deporting a shit ton of people back to Korea.
How do we get this?
I don't know. We're talking about. Oh yeah, we're talking about China and gaming.
Went to Korea and Japan.
Yeah. Anyway, it's an interesting topic. Carry on.
So it has nothing to do with what we're doing.
I know it doesn't. We'll just edit this out later.
Yeah.
But I don't know. After the reunification, there's just way too many problems. Oh God, I just didn't think about the separatist forces either.
What? What's separatist forces?
Well, basically, nobody in the army is going to be happy. Well, actually, the higher echelons, if it reunited, is not going to be through peace. And a lot of people are going to start wanting to, communists take over. And there will be a communist party that comes up and probably try to take over the presidency by stuffing ballot boxes.
Then we're back to civil war again.
Basically. If not, you also have to think about it. Almost all the North Korean defectors in Korea, South Korea, is like the 5%. There's actually almost 99% of the entire Korean people that are in poverty. So if you're North Korean, you defect because you don't know how to spend money, you become poor. And then we have an entire country of that.
That'll take like at least 100 years to fix then, huh?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I mean, Germany's still kind of fucked up with West Germany and East Germany.
Yeah, but they're still doing pretty well. I mean, considering that they're like number 3 on the economic scale or something.
Yeah, but that's just because of West Germany. East Germany's still shit. I mean, there was a friend of mine, Lauren, who came from Germany. She was from Berlin, and I asked her about Berlin and East Berlin, and the Berliners still talk shit about the East Berliners.
Damn it, Russia.
Yeah, it's all Russia's fault. Damn it, so. To be honest, I don't want them to be reunified at all.
Why?
Not until North Korea becomes like an economically more stable. Just way too many problems.
Or should they just reunify the old-fashioned way?
War?
Yeah.
We are at war, man. We've been at war for over 50 years.
But, there haven't been any bullets fired for a while.
Well, yeah, there has.
Cannons.
They kill the occasional tourist or people who step out of line. That shit.
Yeah. They bombed an island and sunk one of our submarines. We were kind of pissed off about that.
Yeah.
They kept on. North Korea keeps on firing missiles every other year.
Yeah, but they always fire into the ocean. They never try to hit, like, Seoul or anything.
No, they fly over Japan that one time, and that scared the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
Should we get on to the topic of gay video games?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting depressed now.
So we should probably end this then. About topics.
And we should try and well, if we're gonna edit that out, then we should probably get some more material to make a good segue.
Yeah.
Let's at least
Um,
wrap up that China censorship conversation we had.
So basically, if China starts making video games, we'll all go to war. Okay.
Yeah, because with their laws, we won't be able to make anything. It's like it can't be offensive. It can't have religion other than ours. It can't talk about racial issues. It can't talk about any kind of social issues.
Well,
It can't
China
be overly violent. It's like, what can it be? Cute?
Puzzle games, I guess.
probably. Hello
And
Kitty.
dating sims.
Yeah.
Oh, also China doesn't technically have a religion, so it's just no religion.
Oh,
Is
boy.
atheism not allowed in China either?
Atheism is the religion, national religion,
Oh, boy.
officially. But there are always spiritual people everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh. Basically, we're boned. Okay, let's move on.
The yeah, I guess that's all we have for today, unless you guys have anything else to say.
We've said quite enough, Alan.
Okay, so that's all the time we have for today. Thank you everyone for being here today, and thank you everyone for listening on YouTube. If you like what you're listening, please click like and subscribe. This is 16 Inputs. We're out.